Once again, Las Vegas is the site for the Mountain West Conference Tournament. And coming up next, quarterfinal number 3, as the second seed Utah State takes down the hometown Rebels. From Las Vegas, you are watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. Already 2 Mountain West Conference quarterfinals in the books. We're getting set for 2 more tonight on CBS Sports Network. A look at the updated bracket already advancing. San Diego State and Nevada, they'll meet in 1 semi tomorrow. We've got Utah State and UNLV coming up right now. And hi everyone, courtside with former Villanova head coach Steve Lapis. I'm Andrew Catalon. Utah State, the 2 seed for the Mountain West Conference Tournament. Depending upon where you look, they're in, they're out, they're on the bubble. They got to win this one tonight.
Well, if they lose this one, it'd be a bad loss, obviously. So they have to win this game. And these 2 teams split during the regular season. For some reason, UNLV, a tough matchup, especially the guards for Utah State. This should be a good one.
We know where the Aggies want to go. They want to feed the big guy. Neemias Queta had an incredible season once again for Utah State.
Well, the defensive player of the year in the conference, averaging 3 blocks a game. He's one of the best defenders in the entire nation. He's on the Naismith Player of the Year watch list. This guy, one of 10 finalists. He's had an outstanding year. And then you have UNLV on the other hand. These 2 guys, David Jenkins, tremendous three-point shooter, one of the best in the Mountain West, and Bryce Hamilton, one of the best one-on-one players in the league. These 2 guys had to have big games tonight if the Rebels are going to get this one.
No fans, so they won't have a home crowd advantage, but they're playing on their home floor, coming off a win yesterday over Air Force. Tip-off next on CBS Sports Network. Tied at 56. Merrill for the lead. He's got it!
Oh my goodness. What a shot.
There's Malachi Flynn at midcourt. The heave, and he almost hit it! And the Aggies go back-to-back here in Vegas. We were here a year ago as Craig Smith and the Aggies won their 2nd straight Mountain West Tournament Championship. They're going to make it 3 in a row, at least try to do that, starting right now against UNLV as we take a look at the starting lineups. And Brock Miller will get the start. He did not play the last 2 for the Aggies, nursing a bad back. He's going to give it a go tonight. Of course, for UNLV, keep an eye on Bryce Hamilton, 3rd in the conference, averaging 18 points per game. For TJ Otzelberger in his 2nd season at UNLV, and they're coming off a big win yesterday in the opening round. They pounded Air Force 80-52. They were up 18 at the half. And Steve, sometimes it's good to get that first one out of the way. You roll in with a little momentum here against the 2 seed.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to be feeling pretty good right now about having been in the tournament, whereas Utah State starting out fresh. And as we talked about in the Open, they played 2 tough games, UNLV and Utah State, during the season.
They met here in Vegas in late January. UNLV won the first one by 3, and then two days later, Utah State got some payback. It's the first time they've met at the Mountain West Tournament, and we are set to go.
And one of the things to keep an eye on, Andrew, is that Neemias Queta didn't play well in either one of those games from an offensive standpoint. Mbake Jong can be a tough matchup for him because he's big, strong, and physical.
Our officials tonight, Eric Curry, Deron White, Ryan McDaniel, and UNLV in the red uniforms has the ball first.
And Utah State is a 99.5% man-to-man team. That's what you will see from them. More of a packed-in defense. Heels on the three-point line. Try to deny dribble penetration.
Here's Mbake Chong down low, tied up, gets it off. No good. Rebound comes to Hamilton, and he scores.
Well, one thing about Hamilton, he's averaged 18 points a game, second team All-Mountain West this year. This guy can really score. Not a great three-point shooter, but he can put the ball on the floor.
Keita's first touch, his shot off the mark, and the rebound to Caleb Grill.
And that was a very tough shot. Give Mbake Jong a lot of credit for the way he played defensively on Keita that time.
Hamilton trying to get around Marco Anthony. Hamilton's second shot, and the rebound to Raleigh Worcester. Worcester finds an opening and knocks it down.
Raleigh Worcester in the second game that Utah State won almost had himself a triple-double. He had 19 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds in that game. This kid gives UNLV fits. Great
an opening and Hamilton finishes.
Great screen on the baseline, a good pass. And that's where Hamilton does his damage. More inside than out, 30% three-point shooter.
Keita right to the hoop, and he draws the foul.
I mean, you're going to take a look. Good pass and not good defense that time. And Marco Anthony is their best perimeter defender. And then a little bit of a miscommunication on that exchange gives Keita a little bit of a head of steam going to the basket. Good foul by Jong.
Third season for Craig Smith. What a job he has done at Utah State. He's 10-1 in the month of March with the Aggies. Grill defended by Miller. And a travel by David Jenkins.
Really good defense that time, and Keita came out to hedge that screen on top, and he came out really hard on that. You're not getting off a jump shot if he's hedging screens really hard.
Last time Utah State was on the floor was Saturday at Fresno State. They were down 10 at the half. They only had 17 points at halftime. Came back to win 57-51. So the offense was out of sync against the Bulldogs. See if they get off to a good start here tonight.
Well, one thing about Utah State, Andrew, they're a much better defensive team than offensive team. That's who they are, and they're one of the best rebounding teams in the country. Second in rebound margin, out-rebounding their opponents by over 10 a game. UNLV kind of small, except for Jong. They're going to have to rebound in this game.
Hamilton around the screen, drives in, and with the left hand, he gets it to drop.
That's a big-time move, because you know who was on him was the Defensive Player of the Year, Keita. He switched to that, and that was a terrific finish.
6 early points for Bryce Hamilton. Keita out to Worcester. He drives in with the left hand lay-in. Worcester missed 3 games in February with a lower leg injury, but played the last couple to close out the regular season.
You know, one thing we got to keep an eye on, Andrew, that time Keita slow getting to that roll. Great play by Jong.
Yeah.
One of the things we got to keep an eye on, Andrew, is the fact that Utah State, in both games they played UNLV during the year, destroyed them in the paint. Even in the loss, destroyed them in the paint.
Mbake Jong saves it to Caleb Grill. Jenkins the other way. Jenkins lost it out of bounds to the Aggies. Great play there by Mbake Jong to keep it alive. Substitutions for UNLV as Nick Blake, the talented freshman, checks in along with Moses Wood. We talked with Craig Smith earlier today, the Utah State head coach, and he said Moses Wood had a couple of good games against us. We have to make sure that he doesn't go off, the sophomore out of Reno.
One thing about UNLV, they do have a bunch of guys that you have to guard on the perimeter, and Wood's one of them.
Keita gets his own miss, back up, and missed it again. Couple of point-blank misses by Keita. Jenkins, his shot's blocked by Keita. Keita with his 76th block of the year. That's 4th most in the country. Anthony other way, counted and one.
Really nice finish by the Virginia transfer.
Marco Anthony will have a chance for a three-point play when we come back. Good start to this one. Mountain West quarterfinal number 3. UNLV and Utah State playing for a spot in the semis.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Kubota. Together we do more. By Werner, the official ladder of NCAA March Madness. And by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
It was a chilly day, Vegas-wise, for March. Early on here, UNLV leads Utah State 8-7. So we take a look at the Aggies' tournament resume, and we said it right off the top, they're on the bubble. I mean, they're net 49, 2 quad 1 victories. This would be a real rough loss to add to their resume if they don't get it, Steve.
There's no doubt. And I think the big thing that's hurting them is they have 2 quad 3 losses. UNLV being one of them, and South Dakota State being the other one. And when you have 2 quad 3 losses and only those 2 quad 1 wins, they kind of offset each other. But this obviously would be a bad loss at this time of year. So it's not the loss, it's the fact that they lose to a team that doesn't have a high ranking in the net. That's not a tournament team. That's what we're kidding.
And Craig Smith told us earlier today, at our level, it feels like every game is a playoff game. Pressure is a privilege, though, and we know we got to go out and get the job done. They were getting the job done the last couple of years here in Vegas, back-to-back Mountain West tournament champions, looking to make it a three-peat as Keita travels.
And you know, Delcadia is much smaller than him, and he just was smart. He didn't allow Keita to back him down, and then Keita just traveled.
And a foul called on Alfonso Anderson. Anderson, the Mountain West 6th man of the year. He had started the last 4 games, but now with Brock Miller returning from a back injury, Anderson coming off the bench again tonight. Wood driving on Anderson. Wood locates Delcadia, puts up a shot, and he is fouled.
I think UNLV is playing with great patience in the half court right now. They're moving the ball from side to side, which is what you have to do when you have a defender like Keita in the middle. You got to move him around a little bit. You can't let him stay put in one place protecting the basket.
So here is Eduardo Delcadia from Italy, and he makes the first free throw. Paramount Plus is here. Live sports, breaking news, and a mountain of entertainment. Paramount Plus. Try it free. First year at UNLV for Delcadia. Played last year at the College of Central Florida. Oh, great defense by Hamilton for the steal. 7th in the league this year in steals per game, averaging 1.3. Hamilton all the way, and the tip, but no, Wood with interference.
That ball wasn't going in, so it's not like Wood took away a basket. That ball was coming out. I'll tell you, this guy can shake and bake with the best of them. Good call.
Wood knew it right away, the sophomore from Reno. Anthony left alone. And the long rebound to Hamilton.
You know, one thing about this Utah State team, really, except for Ashworth and Brock Miller, they're not a good three-point shooting team. UNLV, on the other hand, has made 10 threes 9 times this year. That's a big part of their offense, but they're not even using it so far.
Rebels had 9 threes in the win over Air Force yesterday. They shot 52% from deep.
And they made 13 in that win against Utah State. So that's the book on UNLV. They want to shoot threes.
Keita draws the foul.
You know, right now, UNLV has started this game really by scoring in the lane all the time. Normally a three-point shooting team, but that really bodes well for them. They've only taken 1 3 and have a 2-point lead, 10-8. It's early, obviously, but that's a good sign for them because you got to think they're going to start making threes.
Bean with a tough 2. Meanwhile, that previous foul was on Nick Blake. That was the second on the UNLV freshman.
I'll tell you, Worcester's been all over Jenkins.
Hamilton feeling it here in the first half, but that 3 comes up short. Offensive rebound, UNLV. And Grill quickly fires and misses another.
Well, that was a great look for Grill, who's a really good three-point shooter, makes over 2 a game. There's the double, came quick that time.
Keita gets away. Worcester for 3. Yes!
You know, you take a chance. You double Keita, they're not a great three-point shooting team. Worcester's numbers really from shooting from the three-point line aren't good, 27, 28% for the season, but he made them pay that time.
Hamilton, nice moves, and he draws the foul on Max Schulga.
You know, they brought the quick double. Keita did a great job. One thing about Keita, when you're a 7-footer and you're second on the team in assists, that tells you something. He dribbled out, he back dribbled out of that double team and was able to find Worcester and hit him on the numbers. That was a heck of a play by Keita.
He's the only player in the nation with at least 65 blocks and 65 assists.
Yeah, you don't see 7-footers that comfortable handling the ball.
Tough 2 inside for the freshman Devin Tillis. Worcester thought about another 3, and now will drive. And before the shot, there's a foul committed by UNLV. It's going to go on Tillis. That's his first. Ashworth. The contact over the basket and out of bounds. And that takes us to a timeout. 11:57 to go, first half. And Utah State leads by 1. You are watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota. Mountain West Tournament quarterfinals. The 7th seed UNLV against number 2 Utah State and Neemias Queta.
Yeah, this guy here, you double him, and he's able to throw the ball out of the post, no problem. So if you make a decision to double him, that's fine. But you got to definitely run out of those double teams quickly because these guys can make you pay that, though that's not their strength. Now here comes that pressure again.
No field goals yet for Queta, who's had a double-double in 6 consecutive games entering tonight. Tillis bounces one to Mbake Jong. He draws the double, knocked away. Good defense by Dorius.
And you know, Jong is a good player. He doesn't have the greatest hands, and that time he fumbled the ball that should have been really a dunk.
And Dorius travels. Dorius, one of 3 7-footers on this Utah State team. They have an average height of 79.3 inches. They are the tallest team in the nation.
I only had 1 in my entire career, 17 years.
We're lucky we can see over the monitor to the court. Oh, John couldn't finish at the rim, and numbers the other way for the Aggies. Anthony had it ripped away, but a foul, and it's called on Anthony. Bryce Hamilton again with a good defensive play for the Rebs.
Yeah, Bryce Hamilton has got a good bounce in his step tonight.
Mbake Jong back to the bench. No fans here in Las Vegas for the Mountain West Conference Tournament this year as Jenkins is fouled shooting the three.
That was a terrible foul because really he was not going to take a good shot that time. He comes hard off that handoff. That's just not a good play defensively.
Fouls on the freshman Wooster.
Yeah, you have to let a guy, you have to give him an area to come down. He went straight up that time. Jenkins, you have to allow him to come straight down.
Jenkins had the big game against Utah State in the second meeting between these two schools. He went for a career-high 33 points, including 5 threes. And as Craig Smith told us earlier today, we got to make sure that Jenkins doesn't heat up. He can heat up so quickly. We got to make sure that doesn't happen tonight.
And he hunts for three-point shots. I mean, this guy's one of the best in the league. So, I mean, he's second in three-point percentage and third in threes per game, almost 3 threes a game. So they got to get to him quick, just don't want to foul him.
Jenkins gets it done at the line, and UNLV leads by 2. Approaching the midway point of the first half. Anderson launches a 3 and hits. Alfonso Anderson from the outside.
And Utah State did a great job there. Both these teams, I love what they're doing in the half-court offense. Moving the ball side to side, playing with great patience. That's a bad turnover.
Delcadia turns it over. Wooster the other way. Knocked away by Grill. And now UNLV hustling in transition. Tillis has an opening and hits.
Neither one of these teams likes to play fast. That was taking advantage of that turnover there to get something easy quick.
Cada calling for it. Draws the double. Back out Anderson for another 3. Not this time. Way off. Offensive rebound, Anthony. Brock Miller. His 3 comes up short. Hamilton tracks down the loose ball.
I don't know. I think Miller's hurting too, Andrew. He has not really been involved in this game at all.
And Craig Smith told us the dilemma with Brock Miller and the back injury is if he takes him out of the game for a while, how quickly does the back tighten up? He wants to try to keep him out there and keep it loose.
A bad back, if you go sit down, it could be tough.
Hamilton. And Cada rips it off the glass. Tough pass. Anthony able to handle it. Anthony missed it. And he hung on the rim after. That's a technical on Marco Anthony.
You know, you're allowed to protect yourself. I just want to see this again. I mean, there was a guy underneath him. I don't know. I don't think that's a good call. I think he had a right. You know what he did wrong was he hung on with the one hand and then went for the ball. That's the technical foul. It's not even so much the hand. If he hung and somebody was under him, you're allowed to do that. But the fact that he hung with one hand and then tipped the ball with the other, that's where the technical comes in.
So Jenkins will shoot for UNLV. Craig Smith told us that, thinking back to last year, the #2 seed for the Mountain West Conference tournament, so they did not play in the first round. He said his guys were a little sluggish to start the quarterfinals last year, and it seems like UNLV has got a little bit more energy out of the gate here tonight.
I don't think there's any question, and you know, like I said, I like what UNLV is doing. That's why Utah State bringing a little bit of this pressure. But I like what UNLV has done in the half court offensively. They're being really patient.
Jenkins uses the glass.
You know, this UNLV team, Andrew, was picked 4th in the preseason. Now they're playing without one of the most important guy they lost, Marvin Coleman. He was their point guard. They really now are playing without any kind of point guard. Marvin Coleman only played 6 games this year, out with a stress fracture the whole season.
Utah State again comes up empty.
Matter of fact, we were here last year, Andrew. He had a triple-double.
Yeah, remember that? How about that? Only 6 games. Too bad for Coleman. Not only a leader on the court, but off the floor for TJ Otzelberger as well.
I mean, Bryce Hamilton has had to play a lot of point guard. That really hurts a guy who scores.
Miller again trying to heat up and misses, but Anthony is there for the offensive board. Wooster, deep 2, air ball. And a timeout with 7:33 to go. UNLV's got some energy here tonight in the quarters.
Yeah, UNLV definitely bringing it tonight. I like what they're doing on both ends of the floor. They're here to play. Rebels up 3.
UNLV up by 3. This year's teams in the tournament are now using the Shot Tracker app on an iPad Pro during games for real-time analytics like shot charts and points per possession to help optimize their lineups and play calling. And you love this, Lap.
Love it. I used to tell my guys, we would have possessions during a game where I thought things were getting crazy. We're throwing 5 passes on this next possession. Every game we played, I had my assistants count how many passes we throw on each possession. And invariably, we scored more points the more passes we made on those possessions. It's unbelievable. You move the defense around. You know, you're not passing the ball to one side. If you're passing the ball side to side to side, you're moving the defense around, you're going to get a good shot.
Nick Blake on the floor for UNLV playing with 2 fouls.
And you know, they have to put him in because he's probably the closest thing they have to a point guard.
Fouls on Shulga, the freshman from Ukraine. And now Blake will come out, and Jenkins quickly back in.
And you know, Utah State is playing with a lot of pressure on them tonight. These kids know how important this game is. UNLV really nothing to lose in this one.
Yeah, we had a good discussion with Craig Smith. I mean, you can't really hide what's going on with the NCAA tournament anymore with phones and TV and everything. I mean, these guys know where they stand. They see it everywhere they look.
Bracketologists everywhere. Everybody talking about who's in, who's out. They know where they stand.
Keita and Mbake Jong were battling for position in the post. That's going to be a good matchup to follow here. Keita's got it, and he is fouled as he passed it. And for Mbake Jong, that's his 2nd.
Yeah, he's going to have to come out and probably stay out now.
Now, this was according to Jerry Palm at the beginning of the day, but obviously a lot has changed with Boise State losing earlier today to Nevada. And I would think, Steve, that puts Boise State in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I would have to say that Boise State is probably out. Now, you never know what's going to happen, but my guess is they're out.
Jenkins 3 won't go. Anthony had it, lost it, and now has it again. Anderson has the size advantage over Grill. Anderson around Grill, doesn't get the roll, and the rebound to Moses Wood.
That's the other thing. I mean, UNLV has done a pretty good job on the glass against one of the best rebounding teams in the country. They're actually out-rebounding Utah State right now. This team averages over 40 rebounds a game.
Utah State scoreless over the last 4 minutes, and they're shooting just 30% for the game. Hamilton, nice move, and it goes.
He's got all that kind of stuff.
8 points in the first half for Bryce Hamilton, and the drought continues for the Aggies, approaching 5 minutes now.
I mean, no second chance points, Andrew.
Hamilton, steal, and he missed that one. Anthony runs the other way.
Utah State averages 13 offensive rebounds a game. #1 in the league, and they have no second chance points. Oh, that's charged. That's offensive foul. It's a good call.
Hamilton pushed off, and he gets called.
Yeah, you saw this one coming. He sticks that right out right there. That's an easy one. I saw one of the referees, Eric Curry, clapped because he knew that the other referee made the call.
He knew
clapped it. For him.
Rebels have scored the last 6 points. They lead it by 5 with 5 minutes to go in the first half. Queta position stripped away by Jenkins.
Great help coming from the weak side by Jenkins.
Oh, great feed, Jenkins Delcadia, but a tough shot. Ashworth locates Wooster. Wooster, floater, no. The follow by Anthony, flying in for 2.
Anthony's been tough getting his hand on a lot of these balls on the offensive glass.
He's been the most active player for the Aggies here in the first half. He's got 5 points and 6 rebounds.
Boy, they've reversed the ball every single possession.
Hamilton travels. 7 turnovers here in the first half by UNLV. Utah State already with 8.
And neither one of these teams really turns it over a lot.
UNLV calls timeout with 4:02 to go in the opening half. Good start for the Rebels, trying to get to the Mountain West semis for the first time since 2014. Back in Vegas, coming up, AT&T 5G at the half. Adam Zucker, Wally Zerbiak, Chris Walker, Gary Parrish, and Jerry Palm in studio. Highlights, stats, and analysis all coming up. And it's been quite a day. What a day this was in college basketball. Duke's season ends because of a positive COVID test of one of their players. Virginia at the buzzer over Syracuse. Villanova knocked out by Georgetown, and West Virginia loses a heartbreaker. What a wild day, Steve.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of bubble teams that I don't want to say you're happy about. You don't want anybody to test positive, but there's bubble teams that are breathing a sigh of relief that Duke is gone. No doubt about it. And now in the Big East, you're going to have Georgetown or Seton Hall in the championship game. So a lot of bubble teams worried about that one, that one of those two could win the Big East tournament.
Boise State losing here in Vegas earlier today against Nevada. It's another one that will greatly affect the bubble. Inside, Dorius. Utah State still struggling shooting the ball tonight.
I mean, I'm surprised Queta's been out so much.
Well, he's 0 for 4, and he's got 2 turnovers tonight. No fouls, 1 foul rather for Queta.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I get it if he had 2 fouls, but I mean, he's just much better than the alternatives. Even when he's not playing good, he'll make passes, he'll do other things.
Miller was calling for it. Anthony looks the other way with 3 minutes to go. Dorius from the wing. And Bean knocked it out. Yeah, Keita has 1 point, Bean has 2 points. So here's guys that in the last 6, Keita's had a double-double, Bean's had a double-double in 4 straight, and they have not gotten going tonight.
You know, I think one of the potential problems for Utah State is, you know, Bean's a good player, Keita obviously is really good. When they play together, there's no space because Bean is not a three-point. He's not one of those 4 men that can step out and make threes. Keita doesn't shoot from the perimeter, so the middle is really clogged up right now, I think, for Utah State.
Brill, into the corner it goes. They work it around to Hamilton for an open 3, and Keita back on the floor with the rebound. 5 boards in the first half for Keita.
You know, if this lineup isn't destroying you on the offensive glass, then it's not a great lineup.
Bean tried to feed Keita, could not make the catch.
The transition defense by Utah State's been very good.
Wood, yes, from the outside. Moses Wood for 3.
This kid averaged 4 or 5 points a game at Tulane. It's not like he wasn't a player. He was a player at Tulane.
Redshirted last year with UNLV. And a whistle inside. Delcadio is trying to defend Keita.
I mean, a great drive and kick. Well, he was just all alone, and that's a guy who's they know can shoot the ball. Craig Smith mentioned him to us today as a guy who can really shoot the ball for UNLV.
Seventh team foul against UNLV, so it's a 1-and-1 for Keita. TJ Otzelberger and Craig Smith have a history, as Otzelberger, former coach at South Dakota State, and Craig Smith was at South Dakota for 4 years. Jenkins, and Worcester alters the shot.
Jenkins is taking some tough shots in this game.
.125 to go first half.
I mean, Brock Miller's like he's not out there. He hasn't been, he's taken 1 shot.
Keita turnaround, pretty stuff, and that's his first field goal of the night.
That's a big time play.
And something on the floor, so they stop play.
I mean, you got to give Eduardo credit. Delcadia, you know, he made him shoot a fadeaway jumper, but it was a pretty nice one. You just got to keep Keita from going to the basket. If you can keep him doing things like that, you did your job. Look how this UNLV team is passing the ball side to side. The ball reversals have been terrific in the half court.
Hamilton spins and no good off the glass. Worcester, great move. Riley Worcester's had a nice first half.
Yeah, he's been their best player in the first half.
He's 4 of 5 for 9 points, and it's 6 in a row for the Aggies to tie it at 24.
They got to run this down as far as they can.
So Utah State in their last game had 17 at the half, only 24 late first half here tonight. 6-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Jenkins will launch from deep. It won't go. Shot clock turned off. Anthony over to Miller. Miller at the horn. No good. And that is how the first half ends. UNLV controlled tempo for a good portion of that first half, but Utah State with 6 points late to tie it at 24. coming up after the break. We'll send you back to our New York studio for AT&T 5G at the half. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota.